Hello again, everybody, and welcome to episode 20 of Breaking a 1971 Topps Vending Box. These are some of the cards we have gotten so far, and over here I've kind of went through them now and picked out some of the really nicer conditioned, well-centered cards that I've gotten, put them over here, ones that would consider sending out for grading and think would have a decent chance of getting a 9er or a better. This was the one from the last series, number 19, that we did. It was just a really nice, almost perfect looking card. And being this is episode number 20, I always put out something for luck, and those of you who've been watching some of these so far know that one of my childhood heroes watching play was Lou Brock. Lou Brock wore number 20, so we're going to put Lou Brock out here for luck today, and then we'll go through some of the Lou Brock items and related to Lou Brock items that I've got off on the side. But with that, let's get to this 71 Topps Vending Box. We're over halfway. This is what we've got left to go through. I try to get about a pack and a half worth each time to go through. So there's the little grouping we're going to get today. Let's see who we get. Got a nice Cesar Cedeno right on the top. Cesar, this is the second one of him that I've gotten thus far. Was my favorite cousin's favorite player. He's my favorite cousin because he played baseball with me and my brother a lot. We lived about an hour and a half apart, but when we got together, we always traded cards and played baseball games together. And Cedeno, at this is his rookie card. He was 19 years old his rookie season, and you can see how good of a rookie season he had, hitting .310, 17 steals, he had some power. Went on to have a decent career. There is Cedeno. Then we got a Chuck Dobson card. We got the Pirates. This is their World Series winning team here in 71. This was their main first baseman, Bob Robertson. Good power guy. And Jim Ray, relief pitcher for the Astros. Got a Hawaiian here, Mike Lum. Carved out a pretty decent career. Checklist card. Got a Bob Watson. Had a real good career as a first baseman, mainly with the Astros. Went on to be an executive afterwards. I think he was a league president. Jim Hannon card. Bruce Del Canton. So I'm sitting here in Minnesota. We got another rain out today. The snow has finally melted off our fields. We were able to get a game in, but now we're getting a lot of rain and just plain old cold. Miserable weather. So we're hoping next week brings better weather and we get some more games finally in the high school level. The Twins catcher, George Mitterwald. Bart Johnson, this is one of those I was looking at pop reports. There's only been 2 ever 9s. I think this one's going to be a little too off-center to make it into that category. But still not a bad card. And we got the guy who threw, famous for throwing that lob pitch, Dave LaRoche. And it looks like the end here, we got a Jack Billingham. Here with the Astros, became probably better known with the Reds on those real good teams the Reds have. He was one of their main pitchers. Looks like a nice Billingham card there. Well centered. Got some real nice corners. Good card. All right, let's turn our attention to Mr. Brock. So Lou Brock, put that box out of the way. Brock was kind of one of those guys that had a career that ended up fitting perfect. So he had 18 regular cards, and that fits perfect into 2 of these 9-sleeve pages. And here can you see his rookie card. He came up with the Chicago Cubs, went to Southern University, and as a 22-year-old was called up in September. Played some games in 61 and ended up with a 62 rookie card. 63 card, I like that one with the Cubs. Like his 64. Brock, I think, is another one of those guys who really didn't end up with any bad cards. And then in that 65 season, I'm going to show here the big trade. He went from the Cubs to the Cardinals on June 15th of 65. And the Cardinals gave up these 3 guys. The big name out of those 3 at the time, even though Bobby Shantz had been a previous MVP at this point of his career, it wasn't too much anymore, but Ernie Broglio was the headliner, and he had a 20-win season in 62, I think, and then an 18-win season, or maybe 63, and then an 18-win season the season prior to that. And guys on the Cardinals like Bob Gibson kind of were saying, what are we doing trading one of our aces for a guy like Lou Brock, who at the time and just had a couple seasons in, hit about 250, 260, nothing that special. And then the Cardinals from the Cubs got 3 guys, Lou Brock along with these 2, Jack Spring and Paul Toth. Neither of them had much for careers. But after Brock came over to the Cardinals, he ended up with a really phenomenal rest of that 64 season. And actually, this card doesn't break it down, just shows his totals. But at the time he was traded, he was hitting about 250. And then you can see for the whole 64 season, Cardinals and Cubs combined ended up with 200 hits, 111 runs scored, double figures in triples, homers, 315 average. Ended up playing in the World Series. You can see there, he stole 43 bases that year and helped the Cardinals win the 64 World Series. So it was a huge trade, probably one of the worst trades ever for the Cubs. And then you can see his next few cards here is a 66, 67. That 67 is one of my favorite cards ever. So you get that Cardinals bright red colors in there and just makes for some cool cards. And I think the 67, it really shows up well. But the 68's nice. 69, that 70 is pretty cool. And these are when he started becoming a big-time stolen base champ. Won 8 stolen base titles in a row. There's a 71 card, 72, 73, 74. And then in that 74 season, he goes and swipes 118 bases. He was also caught 33 times, but 118 bases, which breaks the record of, find it here, this guy, Maury Wills, who had been the previous only guy over 100 at 104, done in 62. So he broke that record. And then there's his 76 card, which is a really cool card. I think that's Frank Tavares in the background playing shortstop for the Pirates. Shows him on the bases. Really like that card. And then his final 3 cards, 77, 78, and 79. And with that, he ends up being the career stolen base champ, breaking this guy's record, Ty Cobb. But in subsequent years, both his season record and his career record were stolen, not really stolen, but surpassed by Rickey Henderson. And there's Rickey's rookie card. So other Brock cards we've got here, just his extra. These are all the Topps cards, basically. Got on a few All-Star cards. When they made stolen base leader cards, he got on all of those. This one showed the year he stole 118 bases, 74 highlights card. There's when he broke Ty Cobb's lifetime record. And then he got on a 1980 card because he played in 79 yet, the year he retired. And he finished his career with over 3,000 hits, and he and Kari Skremski both did that during that season, so they got on a highlights card together, which I thought was pretty cool. 3 more cards of Brock here. We got a 67 with him and Curt Flood together, and we got a 68 World Series card, and he's on a 69 World Series card. Those are for the 67 and 68 World Series. And I wanted to show also the outfield he played with at the time. In those last 2 World Series, had Roger Maris in right, Curt Flood in left, and then Lou Brock or Curt Flood in center, and Lou Brock in left, which I thought was one of the best outfields of all time. Another thing Lou Brock was known for was promoting the Brock-abrella. At the time, I know there was a Brock-abrella day where they gave these away at Busch Stadium, and I thought he invented the thing, but looked that up now, and he didn't invent it, but he just promoted it, and looks like this is after he's retired, so he was still promoting it, and you can still buy these, or Brock-abrellas. But here we'll leave with a Lou Brock highlight leading off. It's kind of that card there that showed Game 4, 1968. Here he is.
There's a drive hit deep into right center field. This ball's hit a mile out there, and it is gone into the bleachers in deep right center field. Boy, Lou Brock hit that one a country mile. You don't see many of them, Kurt, hit into the bleachers in right center field here in Detroit.
So Brock had quite a World Series 3 times over. In that 67 World Series, hit .414, a couple doubles, a triple, a homer, 7 stolen bases, which broke a record. And then the next year in the 68 World Series, hit .464, 3 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, 7 steals, again tying the record that he himself had hit. And in his career, 21 World Series games, 3 years, hit .391, 14 steals, and had a 1.079 OPS. So quite a World Series career for Hall of Famer, 1985 class, Lou Brock. With that, we will see you again next week. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.